we've installed our Osmosis D command line tool so we can interact with Osmosis. Let's go ahead and configure that to actually talk to the Osmosis testnet. We're going to also get our wallet ready, our keys ready, and fund our deployment account with the faucet so that it's ready to interact on the network. First off, Osmosis D needs to be configured. You can hit Osmosis D config in order to see your current setup. So here we have these config options that include chain ID. I'm going to change the keyring backend here so that it doesn't use the actual keyring, just for development purposes. And the node, which is our URL that we communicate with, the RPC node that we communicate with to talk to the blockchain. It comes thankfully set up for us. This isn't always the case. Set up for us with Osmosis Testnet 5. If we wanted to change this, if you're using an old testnet, for example, then you just go ahead and type after config whatever you're changing and then whatever you're changing it to. So for example, I could do Osmosis chain ID test 4. And then I'm going to go back to test 5 here and just update the config. So if this RPC node is down or something like that, you need a different one, or it's testnet 6 times, you can come in and change it in here. So this is exactly what you want here. If you have any of these values are different. Actually, I do want to change the keyring backend. So I'm going to change the keyring backend. Since I'm on test, I'm going to change the keyring backend to test. There are a number of options here. There's a file backend that's a little bit more secure. It's password encrypted. The OS backend uses whatever is available in the OS. In this case, it'd be keyring. I don't want to deal with keyring and entering my password on screen and things like that all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to test. However, if you do that, don't do anything other than testing. Okay, it's just for convenience for testing. If I want to work with keys, I will enter the keys major command, and I can ask for help on that and get all the sub commands that are available. So I can list keys, add keys, and so on. Add by default generates a new key, or it can recover one if you specify that. How would we find out more about how this works? Easy enough. We ask Osmosis D keys add and then ask help on that. So you can ask help on pretty much anything and get all of the options and stuff. It's a lot to read through sometimes. But add derives a new private key and encrypts it to disk, or it will recover one if you use the -- recover to recover from a seed phrase, or you can even connect to a ledger, and then you just get a reference to the ledger and you can interact with your ledger even though you're signing things from command line. But let's just keep it simple for now. We're going to go Osmosis D keys add, and then let's call the key testnet counter. All right, and we get this whole setup here. There's no mnemonic. Oh, here it is. Here's the mnemonic. It will never be displayed again. It's only displayed here. I don't particularly care that you see it. I'm never going to use this account. Definitely don't send funds to this account and take control of it. And right, it's now a public seed phrase that's out there. You now can take control of the faucet funds that I send and use in this video if you want. In this video, I will use this one. You should use your own. So wherever you see me entering this Osmo NTC, instead enter whatever you have here. I will copy this. If you forget it, you can always Osmosis D keys list, and it will show you the information other than the mnemonic about all the keys in your local test wallet. Now I need to go to the faucet, because otherwise this account will not have the ability to do anything. If I'm trying transactions, I'm uploading contract code and so on, it won't work unless I can pay for gas, even though it's on testnet. Osmosis actually provides this handy little link tree, if you will, for all of its testnets. You go to the chain ID without hyphens, osmotest5.osmosis.zone, and you see a rundown of all the links you could possibly need, including the ability to add it to Kepler and whatever. What we want is the faucet. So I'll take this faucet link here and go there and enter my Osmosis address, verify with Cloudflare, request tokens, transaction failed. All right, the faucet is setting a 100 gas limit, and the network needs more than that. We'll try it again here. Now we've lost our style sheet. So all around, I mean, yes, very useful dashboard, but these things are common with testnets. As of this video, the faucet doesn't work. The faucet tries with too low of a gas value to send the testnet Osmo. So you need to go to the Osmosis developer Discord and links in the text, and either ask someone or get linked up to the developer Telegram, go somewhere and ask for some Testnet Osmo in order to proceed. I'm sorry about that. Maybe by the time this video is out, the faucet will be fixed, but otherwise, if you run into this problem, go ahead and ask someone for Testnet Osmo, and the developers there are always willing to send you some. And once your address has some Testnet Osmosis, you'll be ready to actually upload code and interact with contracts, and we will start doing that in the next set of videos. If you're watching this somewhere else, go to heretolearn.xyz in order to access all the videos on Rust, smart contracts, web app building, and all the exercises and cool resources that are there. We'll see you in the next one.